pause at the top left-hand corner where it says recording.
Okay, I will call this meeting to order for KWWA on August 8th at 6 p.m. So regularly approved meeting. Joining us already in progress. Okay, so I will take a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I will so move.
This is for the typos we need to change.
That'll be on the minutes.
Okay.
First, we got to do the agenda.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, all those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Let the record show that that Eric, Teresa, and myself, Debbie are here. Tim is online, so we do have a quorum. In the B on the agenda would be approval of minutes, and we had a couple of corrections. Teresa, go for it.
I did. I showed Sasha. I was here in person. So that needs to be changed.
And under B on old business, it was tabled until August, not till June. So just so we change those two things. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes with the corrections?
I make a motion to approve the minutes with the corrections.
All right, fine, I'll second it.
Okay, the motion and a second to approve the minutes from July 11th with two corrections. All those in favor signify aye.
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 Okay, in your packet, you had, or on your second email, you got a sheet that looks like this.
Can I request it's bigger?
I know.
That is as big as I got it. It really wanted to print it the wrong way and it was even tinier than that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. See how you are.
Sorry.
So obviously we've got some areas that we are like super far over. And I had asked Kim, just because I was a little panicked when I saw we were already using 34,000 of contingency. But that 34,000, she's gonna go ahead, because when you go to, oh, well, hello. It's like, he's not really online. Tim, meet Sasha. Sasha, meet Tim.
Yeah.
So we can pass this around. I emailed Kim because I was like, holy mackerel, where are we pulling this from? So Kim sent me over the profit and loss, and she's pulling different things and combining them because some line items are way over. So you guys can look at this, and this
You
might
look at it.
help explain. But she's moved those 34 into the contingency so that there would not have to be an appropriation at the end of the year for those specific line items, but we need to know that they are over.
How far down are you looking?
Yeah. Boy,
Way down.
It's the very last one.
your contingency is that,
Yeah, even what you're looking at is incorrect, and I'm sorry about that, because the 89, what it did last month was it calculated it down to the bottom line, which was what was over, and I didn't like that number there, so I moved it up to contingency to make it 0, because that's what it's gonna look like under the way you guys did your budget this year. So you don't have to do appropriations, you're just pulling it over to contingency. Well, anything
But-
over would end up going to contingency at the end of the year.
but we are realistically 34,000 over in various areas.
Yes.
And those would be repairs and legal,
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah. Repairs are taken.
So, now we did have the one repair that moved from 22 to 23, so that kind of kicked us right over the edge off to for starter.
Now, Debbie, I also encountered a problem today.
Okay,
With QuickBooks that I'm working with them, and I have a 10:30 meeting with them tomorrow morning. It's on both sides with that application. Where sometimes when I write a check, it's coming out and then it goes back as a check showing what check number cleared. But then it's creating an expense line mimicking that cleared check line. So it has an expense line showing that check again, cleared that, but now it's doubling what that expense.
So it'd be
amount is.
taking it out twice.
Yeah, or it's adding it to make it look like you've spent more money than you've actually spent.
Mhm.
It's not affecting the bank account.
Right.
Right.
It's what QuickBooks is doing. So I've noticed it on both sides. I spent a long time on the phone with them about the town today. Couldn't even get it finished. So I have a 10:30 appointment with them in the morning to go over both of them. to figure out why it's doing
So
it.
weird.
That may not even be a
Okay,
true and accurate number. Okay, so when
Okay.
I get that cleared up, I'll send you guys a cleared up version of it.
so if you would do that, then because we'll need to start building our budget,
Mhm.
thinking about budget stuff. And plan on meeting, you know, whether we do a workshop with Kim or what we do is kind of up to everybody. So, but that's. Our repairs are kicking our butt.
Yeah.
So FYI,
They do every year.
every year. And we added more. So does that profit and loss include the checks here?
Yes,
Okay,
I don't see
so
that until I.
that's what I thought. Thank you.
Yeah.
So because in this deal, we did another 15,000 in, those are meters,
That's the
right?
ones you guys budgeted for.
Right, so that will be our meter at the end, should that be the end for the year?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, you only budgeted for 15.
perfect. So
Okay.
FYI. Okay, any other questions? As you look at that? Do we have Paul? I mean, not that you can't give us his. We did not get to do, I had fair, so I didn't get to do my meeting with Paul, sorry.
Cool.
I know.
Yeah.
It's just too many things going.
No, ma'am. Can I
Okay,
get him on the phone?
well, I don't know that, I guess, my big question for him is, where are we at on the fiberglass elbow? I mean, this whole thing of waiting for it to be 60 degrees, like that
So we-
excuse,
Yeah, we didn't have our meeting with him last week and we're
Yeah.
having this tomorrow morning.
I know,
So let me see if he'll join our meeting.
Okay.
To answer to that.
thank you, just because that excuse feels like we should not be waiting for 60 degrees.
I don't think it's him from last conversation I had.
Kind of
Somebody
figured,
else coming out here to help make the determination if he needs to send that back or if we're gonna proceed.
okay. Well, and I know we've been waiting on was it CNC that was gonna do the fiberglass repair?
Yeah, he's having problems with them.
Well, if I
Which is
need
why
to,
Yesterday, I was like, I should call him.
well, if I need to light a fire under them, you need to let me know, because I will go straight to Papa San.
Okay. I was like,
Do you want, we can move on to Sasha while we're waiting to see if he can
He said
talk
he
to
was
us.
trying, he'll try again.
Okay,
Let me go send him a link and see if that's what he's talking about.
okay. So Sasha, tell us how you're getting acclimated.
Good, good. It is a huge learning curve
Yeah.
coming from being a, teacher and school librarian for 25 years. So,
So I knew your history. These guys didn't. So
Oh,
share with them
okay.
kind of.
so the last 25 years, basically, my husband and I have lived in, well, he's been down here a year and a half. So, okay, he's been up there 23 and a half years, but we lived in Gillette, Wyoming, which if you don't know where that is, it's up near Devil's Tower. It's in the top right-hand corner of Wyoming. It's the one not pretty area of the state. Everybody's like, Wyoming's so pretty with the trees, not Gillette. So,
Her husband works for Town of Elizabeth.
yes, so my husband's the town manager over in
Nice.
Elizabeth. So we kind of laughed that we both ended up in governmental jobs. So, because that's not where we started. Anyway, so yeah, I've been a special ed teacher and a video production teacher and a librarian and a speech and debate coach the last like 25 years. So I finished out my 25 years of teaching to retire. Our oldest son finished out his associates in health sciences and is going to finish out his chemistry degree this fall at UW in Laramie. Then wants to be a urologist. So he's gonna be in school forever. And then our younger son just got done with high school. And he actually stayed in Gillette. He has a job he loves. So that's what he's doing. He's working. So kind of sad. Miss my boy a little bit. Anyway, so yeah, I finished out. I took 6 kids to my national tournament this summer. in Arizona. Thankfully, we were there before it got to be like 120. It was only like 105. Yeah, and then Kim called me and said, hey, that position you interviewed for, are you still interested? And I went, yeah, awesome. So yeah, good. It's a huge learning curve. Yesterday I was like, I am messing stuff up.
Tasha has been amazing to
Yes.
come back in and
Yes,
help.
Tasha's been very nice because
Come back in Thursday again.
yeah, so I've had my Tasha pile. I'll go with Tasha. I don't know what I did wrong. Like, I missed a step, but it's getting better. Today I was able to do like all the beginning stuff and I'm figuring out everybody like Nick and Travis and everybody I need to email. So Travis got like 12 emails today. So I'm sure he's like, stop.
No fun.
Yeah, it's good fun. So anyway, so slowly getting the hang of it. So I'll just keep working on it. But yeah, it's good. So I'm excited. Thanks for letting me be here.
We're excited too.
Yeah, it's good. So I'll try to, keep the notes straight.
He's not responding to me, Debbie. All I can figure is he's trying to get logged in. so.
That's fine.
And as far as the June and July reports, the director's report and the system total reports are the same thing. Somewhere Katie went in and got the name changed to director's report instead of system total report. I don't know how to change it back. But
Figure it out.
it's the same thing. So,
Okay.
just so you know that the system total report and the director's report are the exact same thing. It's got a
Okay.
different name. I don't know why. So two things to look at. In June, the water loss was at like 14%, and it went down in July, so that's good. So hopefully it'll keep going down. Although, hotter summer, we have used more in July, but it's rained a little less. Because even in June, it rained a ton. It's like tsunami, holy smokes. Anyway, so I'm sure people are using more water in July, but water loss is down, which is good. And then the other thing I would say to look at is the past due stuff. Those are actually, the numbers are coming down, as far as people who are like past due. And so there's only like 7 people now who are over the 60 days, but only 2 of those did not make a payment in the last like month. So the other 5 have made payments. They are not up to 0 yet, but they have been making payments. So only 2 of them have not. Only 2 of them are further behind. So actually it's not as bad as it looks.
We had some quirky deals
Yeah,
they had to clean up, so.
yeah.
Not anybody's fault, it was just simple stuff, like one of my Shasta houses was going to the Shasta house, but nobody's living there, so.
Yeah, and
Nobody knew about the bills, so.
yeah, and we had a few of those that happened, and so I
Yeah.
had 4 or 5 people today where their stuff had gotten returned this week,
Yeah.
and so I was looking up phone numbers and I left messages like, hey, this got returned.
Guess what I've got?
Or is anybody living there? Not, one guy, they said it moved, so I was like, I need your forwarding address because you still have a bill. So yeah, so
Perfect.
actually, it's not too bad.
Well, thank you.
You're
Keep
welcome.
persevering.
Yes, I'm like a little bulldog. I'll just keep nipping at their heels. So
So when did you hire Tasha to fix the junior livestock sale?
I know.
just submission. Yeah. So,
Okay, Kim, you're up.
I don't really have an update other than the paperwork to receive the payment has been submitted. And then you guys are gonna meet, Mr. Mata tonight. He's here to talk to us about, a water source protection plan that involves a grant, and what our role in that is. So he'll talk to you more about that.
Awesome. Okay. So scooting, do we have any public comments? John, you're our only other public. Do you have any comments?
The roads are dry, it's not raining right now.
Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna move into old business. A is ordinance for water determinations and bargain sale deed. Rick Pettit did create the bargain and sale deeds and they've been turned over to the town for them to do their magic.
That ordinance is on our agenda tonight.
Okay, perfect. So our part is done. We will leave it under old business just so that we can address what the ordinance number is and everything in our minutes at the next meeting, okay? We had a great workshop. B was cleanup operating agreement between the town of Kiowa and KWWA. George reviewed our copy that we all came up with afterwards, and the only item he was concerned about was up in the very first paragraph. And I didn't bring a copy with me. It says something about there was something striking that it overrid the establishing.
Yes. and
Yeah,
has
so
not
it would
enhanced.
override the establishing agreement, and we can never override the establishing agreement.
Right.
Okay, so we're not gonna put restated back in.
So what is that verbiage? I don't know.
This agreement supersedes any and all agreements
That's the
regarding
line
the
that came
authority
out.
of in the town.
Well, in the title too. I can't get any internet in there. Cause I had
Read
another
the title.
question added too. This, where it says amended and restated in the title of this document, are we not putting restated back in?
It should say restated.
It should go back in.
Okay, I just wanna make sure.
So let's make sure, so you double check when you get your copy that it does say amended and restated, and that we're putting that other line back in that George wants back in.
And then I had a question as I was reading.
Oh, good.
this
Okay.
again. It says the insurance required by section 2.2 C3 above shall list the United States of America acting through the Rural Housing Services as the mortgagee.
That's USDA.
Yeah, so they're the lost payee for anything if we ever
That's who owns
had,
it.
like, the tower fell
Thank
over.
you.
Yeah.
Just wanted to see what.
Oh, yeah, that's their requirement in their agreement. They
Okay,
have to be named in there.
I just wanted to check that.
So, are you guys gonna vote on yours tonight then? I mean, do you want us to vote on ours tonight?
For the operating agreement?
Yes.
No, you and I talked and said that we don't get that, we wanted that final number.
Oh, for the 2024,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Sursa won't have that to us until the end of this month.
okay,
Renewal rates for 2024, so that's what we're waiting on. So We should
okay,
have it for next month's meeting.
perfect. So you can table that and move it forward,
Yeah.
okay?
And that's
Um,
B, right?
yes.
Okay.
So then we also see, there was a resolution that was sent out to everyone. Everyone came back with questions.
So I had a hard time finding this, because I wasn't included in these email chains with this. So I had a hard time finding it in Katie's computer system.
Oh,
So if you had changes to it,
at this point, we have no changes to it.
okay, because I didn't
Um,
change anything. I just printed it out as it stood.
Yeah,
I sent you a question.
you did send me questions. So the town would be in, whoever we have handling our operating agreement would be the one that posts it. So it would be the town who posts. And then you asked me about the lien, and the lien automatically, water and sewer are a lienable item, so they always go on the lien.
Okay, and I asked about what is the turn off service fee? What's that amount?
The turn off service fee, is it 25 to go turn it off?
I believe it's 25, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
And then I asked about.
Cause I do remember your question.
And I pulled up, who was going to hand deliver these?
The town does
Okay.
them.
Actually, what do you mean hand delivered?
When you put notice on the door,
Actually, Paul does that.
Paul
Yeah.
does it.
We do not
Okay,
do any enforcement out of this office.
okay.
Paul goes and puts those on the doors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And what is the return check fee?
The return check fee is,
That's, I'll have to see, it's been a while since we've had a return check, but I just charge them back whatever we're charged by the bank.
Okay,
And I believe it's like $8.
I was gonna
How
say,
much?
it's usually $9. Yeah, I think is what I get
Yeah,
charged.
I think it's $8 or $9 or a nominal fee.
so do we want to put those numbers in this document?
So it would behoove us to do that.
Well, then look at 1464. I just noticed that procedure for review of disputed bills. In the event a customer or owner disputes the service fee or fees, the owner or customer or owner may notify. I would suggest your billing clerk first.
So would you say town clerk?
We have her listed as town clerk / billing utility billing clerk.
Okay,
So,
so notify billing clerk.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. on this, turn off fee is $25.
Okay, where was that at? Which number? Sorry. Oh,
14.6.6, second paragraph.
okay.
So what's it cost to get it back, turned back home?
$25.
$25.
Okay, so the town's $100. Is there a reinstate fee? That's $25. I'm trying to find where that is.
But I don't see where it's
Should be.
termination.
You mean on the first one itself?
Yeah, I didn't see it in there.
Okay, well, that may be something we need to talk to RBS about, or we may.
Which it may be restored by submittal of a new
And then-
application.
When I read it, I didn't know.
So it doesn't look like they are charging, well, I
Yes.
mean,
I think it's a law.
because it's saying that service will only be restored by all past due and other fees being paid.
Yeah, I was wondering, I think my question to you was. Do we have a reinstatement fee? Do we need to put this in there? I didn't know.
So we've been charging a transfer fee, but I don't know that it calls for a turn-on fee.
I don't, I don't think it does, Debbie.
I don't remember
I
anything
think
being in
there's
there,
A fee for having to turn it off.
right?
I'll have to go back in there and look.
And really, it kind of feels like it would be overkill to charge them both
Both
ways.
ways.
I mean, they're already having a tough enough time paying the bill.
We could just, I've never heard of a shut off and turn on fee. I mean, usually they shut it off and then you have to pay to get it turned back on.
Right.
So we would leave it as,
I don't think it's even in there.
okay.
I think it was just a question. If we turned it off, do we have to?
So on the return check fee, you want to put,
I don't know that you want to put a dollar amount because it just.
well, but you could just say subject to return check fee charged by bank.
That would be better.
Yeah.
Than the actual dollar
You
amount.
can change it anytime.
Yep.
Sasha had a question, and I feel like I know the answer, but I just want to confirm this with you guys, since you guys put it in here. Under 14.6.6, termination of service for unpaid bills. At the very bottom, it says the health department may be notified via mail that the service has been shut off.
Mm-hmm. Cause they can't live in it's
Without
uninhabitable at that
running
point.
water. Okay.
I think that was all my questions that I shot to you.
That was, and you were the only one that gave me questions. Good job. I love it.
Busy bee where I am.
Okay, so with the additions of 14.6.4 may notify billing clerk. 14.6.6, when a service is turned off, turn off service fee of $25 will be charged. And 14.6.9, return check fee charged by the bank. Are there any other changes that I missed?
That's all I had.
Okay. So I would entertain a motion to approve resolution of the Board of Directors of Kiowa Water and Wastewater. We will need a number for it.
And do we want to change it first?
Nope, he'll incorporate, your motion needs to incorporate the changes.
I'll sign a number to it tomorrow.
Okay.
I don't remember what number you're on.
I have not a clue.
I know you did one earlier this year.
Yeah.
At least one.
So I would entertain that motion with those changes.
I so move.
I'll second that motion.
I have a motion and a second to approve the resolution before us with the 3 changes presented to be amended by the attorney. All those in favor signify aye.
You know, just, Sasha, are you caught up?
Mhm.
Okay.
And Paul's on too.
Thank you. But yes, got it.
Oh, you just have to throw something at me. It's okay.
Okay.
Or he'll smack. That's all good.
Okay, no, good. I can do pretty
Okay,
good shorthand.
all those signify by aye.
I,
Okay, motion carries. Now I did check with George, we did not have to post this or publicize it. It's not a fee change or rate
Right.
change, so we're fine. Yeah. So,
You don't have to record it either.
Right. Okay, so to care C, 2024 annual payment amount for operating agreement with town of Kiowa, we are waiting. We're still waiting on the, insurance quote, so, and then that gives us time to kind of check into the special district insurance too.
So that's tabled.
Yep, so we will table A, new business, for the next meeting, it will become old business. Okay, presentation, you are up.
Hold on a second, hold on, do you want to back up to? Paul
Oh,
real
I'm
quick?
sorry, yes, it falls on, sorry, Paul.
Hello. So
Can you-
we are still waiting on CNC to do the elbow at the wastewater plant. I talked to Roger yesterday and he said he was going to try and get us in their schedule, but they just been really busy here lately. And then yesterday we had to replace a curb stop at or not a curb stop, a yoke at 213 Cheyenne. While we were replacing the meter, the shut off on the yoke actually broke. So we had to replace that, and that took a few hours, but we finally got it taken care of. So we replaced a total of 171 meters right now. And I got to give Sasha the number to Zach with Core and Main so he can work with her to get the system set up so we can start automatically reading those.
Perfect, yeah, let's get that rocking and rolling, that'll really help save some time.
Yes.
Paul, let's go back to Cheyenne. It seems like we've been having a lot of trouble here the last couple of years up and down that street. Is that something that we're gonna have to address a little more extensively?
No, the yoke that was old and just failed. Kind of like the yoke over at Hugh Motors when it had to break and we went to shut it off. The shut off broke on that one as well. And we had to replace it just because they were old.
Right, right. I know that the water line is broke right there in front of the church too. So and that was I think last year, or maybe it was 2 years.
Right.
Is there anything that we can do to head off some of these emergencies, or is it just gonna be one of those things that we fix them as they come up?
Yeah, start replacing the old stuff where we need to. Say that again.
I said, you sound like you're in Gillette, Wyoming.
Oh, sorry, I'm driving.
Oh, no wonder. Away from Gillette.
Yeah.
Yes.
Service up there is tough, I know. Anyway, I know that a good friend of ours, he drives over the top of his meter. It's right in the middle of his driveway. I'm sure that's something that we're gonna have to address sooner or later.
Yeah, all of the new homes cannot have the meter in the driveway. Just
Well, I
because.
guess it's not old or young or new, it's old on
Right,
Cheyenne.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, so moving forward, though, we want to try and keep the meter pit out of the driveway.
So does that mean that we're gonna have to do some extensive work in that, for that household?
For which one?
Well, it's right next to the church.
Oh,
it
no,
what-
that one should be fine. I mean, it's in the dirt. I don't think that's an issue there. But the ones that are in the driveway that are cemented or
Mhm.
paved over, those get really expensive when we have to go to repair them. We have to break up all that driveway to make the repair.
Okay. Well, maybe we can do some more talking, because it just seems like every time we have something go on there, we gotta shut off half the town on that old side of town.
Yeah, I think we just need to start looking at replacing some of the water main valves.
Right, exactly.
So Paul, on your report, you have a note that both basins need the wiring corrected at the PLC.
Yeah, I gotta get a hold of Velocity. They were supposed to come out and do that, and I haven't heard back, and I've sent them a notice a couple times, so I need to try again.
So this is still under the warranty thing, right? That they've still not taken care of?
Correct.
Okay, sounds to me like maybe we need to light some fires between CNC waiting for it to be above 60, and here we are in August. And the other waiting, I think we need to light some fires if you could. If you're not getting any response, will you please let me know and I will call CNC?
Okay,
I will
that's
reach
fine.
out to his dad.
Yep, that's fine.
And that's to repair what?
CNC is doing the elbow on the wastewater,
Gotcha. Okay.
and Motive Jet. What is their name?
Velocity.
Velocity is the one that's supposed to warranty on the wastewater.
Gotcha.
I think we need to let them know our patience is wearing thin with them.
Here's my issue with CNC. They come out like that when we have an emergency and charge us exorbitant amounts of money for doing so. They can't show up to fix an arm and fall summer long.
Yeah. And the hard part is I don't want to lose somebody who will respond when we need them in an emergency.
They get really good for.
They have been amazing for emergencies.
I think
And-
with stormwater, everybody's bouncing from emergency to emergency.
Are they
Yeah.
putting Band-Aids on right now?
Yeah, stuff's getting washed out, stickers,
Yeah.
we're trying to fix outages.
Okay, well, we'll try to be understanding, but our patients are wearing thin, so it's okay. Thank you, Paul. Anything else? Hello? Hello?
Paul, you still with us?
Left the building.
Yep.
Nope, he's gone.
Maybe one other question we passed on. We pumped what, 2.4 million gallons and had a 14% loss. We pumped almost 1 million more and had a 12% loss. It seems backwards, doesn't it?
Well, there's a lot of things that were backwards this last couple of months. 10 we're correcting those right now.
It is weird that those numbers would go that way.
Things were not accurate when Tasha came in, we started trying to discuss it. And she's trying to fix a lot of those things that
Yeah.
she found wrong. I'll give you, for instance, you guys were given a past due list of a lot of people. That past due list was created after the billing was done, and people who were just billed who had not had a chance to make their payments on the bill that they just got.
Right, because it wasn't due for
They were
another
called past due.
3 weeks.
So is that a math error? Or is that an indication that something is wrong in the grander system?
She just unclicked things that had always been clicked that shouldn't have been unclicked.
It's human errors, which was.
Yeah,
not to
see,
say very.
Yeah, when Tasha and I went back in to figure things out and go in and look at like the reports and all that, there were things that had been unclicked and things that had been clicked that were opposite before. And so things that should not have been included in the report, like people who had just gotten billed, like literally they just gotten billed. Yeah, and so their bills aren't due now still for another like 2 weeks from now.
I'm sorry, this is not billing related, just on the pumping.
That too.
Yeah, that too, but I'm just saying in that same vein, when we were looking at the reports and things like that.
Everything was revamped for some reason. Somebody took a self-initiative to
Yes,
revamp everything in the system
like the director's report versus this.
without understanding the significance of it.
So we're,
So the numbers here were not correct.
It could possibly not be
Maybe.
very accurate. but that's
Figuring
what
that
I'm
out.
right now.
Tasha's helping me go back and we're rerouting and we're putting things back. It's taking a little bit. Go.
So when you guys are filling in the number now for water used for fire and flushing lines, are the fire guys giving you kind of a rough idea of gallons used?
Have they called you yet? Tasha?
Because we have a 58,000
No.
gallon number in there and I kind of wondering where we're getting it.
No. Well, I would love to give you an insight into the brain that created that. And I've asked numerous questions.
Okay.
And at this point, I've got no responses.
Okay,
So I.
so
cannot
because that
give
was like a
answers.
new line that I hadn't seen before.
Yeah.
And so I was wondering where it came
So I
from.
just want to clarify too. This program is only available on the utility billing clerk's computer. I don't have access to it. I don't have training on it. I don't have any way to pull up reports, enter payments, billing, none of that. It's exclusive to that position at that desk. And I can't manipulate it any way that's gonna be any better than what the person who just did it. How they did it. So it's having to be fixed by a person who knows the system, is trained on the system, who was there from its initiation in this office. She's having to find these errors and fix them. She was only supposed to be here one day to do the training. She's now 3 days in.
She's been really nice.
Okay.
I have my Tasha pile.
So then I'll request that when it is fixed, maybe we go back a year and track all this stuff.
I would think it would be wrong for a year.
Well, I was gonna say,
just the
cause
last
Tasha
couple
would have been okay.
months. Tasha was
Yeah,
good.
that's unreasonable.
Oh, so, okay, so this is just a month.
Yeah, this is just,
It's 60 days.
yes,
60
yeah.
days to do this.
So if we might be able to take last year's and kind of look and compare it to this month, same time last year.
Yes, that's more reasonable.
Yeah, so we could look at June and July of last year and compare the two, but the other one would have been in Cassell. So, but because I can't understand where a water used for fire and flushing number is coming from if we're not getting a number from the fire department. And I know they didn't go through 108,000 gallons, so just curious. So, but we will, you and Tasha can work on that and let us know. I mean, I get it, we've got a
We'll
little
get better
problem.
insight on Thursday when she comes. in.
Okay,
Yeah, she's coming back in.
cool beans.
That helped me.
All right, Gabriel, you're up. Thank you for your patience.
Where would you like me to present from?
Any little place you
Stand
would
there.
like to.
She can
Well, I
click
need
it when
to-
you're ready for her to. It's on the screen right there.
Okay.
Joe, you should. You gotta pull it up.
Yeah, it's here. I'm just finding the. Oh, you. Right.
You wanna show her?
go down to
Oh,
here,
yeah, where do you
click
want?
on slideshow.
You guys have
There.
maps of the slides too.
Okay,
Right.
If you
We did
want,
that.
and right here, and I'll just
Yeah.
arrow down every
Yeah.
time I need to, that way I'm not
you just
telling you.
knocked
every
yourself
time.
out.
Okay, is that good?
Do you want the chair? I
No,
can-
ma'am, you're good. I've been riding for 4 hours, so
Oh,
I need to kind of stretch and everything a little bit.
4 hours?
I live in South Fork, Colorado, so I drove up here today.
wow.
I've got training in Pueblo tomorrow and then headed back home
Thanks for
tomorrow.
coming up.
Thank you guys for having me. My name is Gabriel Mata and I work for the KWWA, Colorado Rural Water Association. And I'm here to help you guys do a source water protection plan. So the CRWA is assistance for Colorado's water and wastewater systems. The Colorado Rural Water Association's Source Water Assessment and Protection Program, SWAP. We use a lot of acronyms, so get ready for that. But we are backed by the state and federal government there. So we're a non-regulatory program. We have stakeholder involvement, education, and awareness. We take a proactive approach. We want to prevent the pollution of drinking water sources such as groundwater, lakes, rivers, and streams. Source water protection is the first barrier to providing safe drinking water. So myself, we focus on the source water protection. But water treatment systems, water quality testing, all of that, we have resources for all of that. So we can help find you resources or get people to help if you need other help in those areas. And so why do we want to protect drinking water? Of course, because of the water, for the health of the community, to reduce cost of water treatment, to reduce the risk of contamination, to avoid expensive cleanup costs. And this also comes with a $5,000 SWP grant via CDPHE. So the grant funding is a $5,000 grant for eligible public water systems in Colorado. It can be used towards plan development and best management practice implementation. It's a matching grant, cash or in-kind time. So these are the 7 steps that we take to develop the source water protection plan. The first 2 circled there is stakeholder involvement and form a steering committee. This slide here shows examples of stakeholders. And ultimately, it comes down to who you guys want on your committee. I can recommend people, I can research and try to find people from outside the community, like representatives from CDOT, emergency responders, anybody like that, but ultimately it comes down to you guys, whoever you guys want on the committee. So next, here we have delineate the source water protection area. These maps right here, these are examples of source water. And the area we have outlined there are the areas of delineation. And these maps are provided by the state. The state has created these maps for all source water in Colorado. So once we have that, we want to inventory potential sources of contamination and prioritize. So potential sources of contamination, a big one in Colorado is wildfire. Then we also have chemical spills. If you have a major highway or anything running close to your source water, we want to identify that. And there's also any kind of containment systems, like for gasoline or fuel. If you were to have a spill or something, is your source water protected from any of that? Once we've identified that, we'll prioritize potential contaminants with our SWOT risk assessment matrix. So we have possibility of impact on the left and then impact to the water system. Of course, the lower that number is, the lower your risk is going to be. So the higher it is, of course, the higher your risk is going to be. And with the committee, we identify those and we discuss our risk. And then we prioritize potential contaminants. So once we have all this, we decide if it's very high, are we going to give it a priority 1 ranking, or we're going to give it a priority 5? So once we have our source water protection plan, we have our priority rankings. That'll help us decide, where to implement the grant money. Identify best management practices. Possible best management practices could be, you need security, fence, cameras, better locks, things like that. We also do education. So we do a lot of events. We have flyers, educate the community. If you have a festival or something in the park going on and you want a water display and you want to educate the community on the water, we do that as well. With the source water protection plan comes this signage here. So we'll supply you with some of these signs and you can put them wherever you would like. So in summary, the source water protection is a local community's proactive approach to protecting the source of their drinking water. The identification, prioritization, and mitigation of known or potentially harmful contaminants to drinking water supplies. Public awareness and stewardship of healthy water resources. So the takeaway message, the grant match can be met with in-kind time and no out-of-pocket cost to the water system. KWWA will assist in public water system with the entire process from start to finish. So I'm here as your representative and your resource for the whole process. KWWA SWAT services are free. This is my job. This is what I do. I want to do a good job. So it's what I do. And that's what we do. There's 4 of us on the SWAT team. I'm probably the newest member so far. But we have a very good team and a lot of resources. So we're here to help. This map here, all the blue stars are all the completed source water protection plans in Colorado. We have about 245, maybe a little more now that we've completed. The red triangles are the ones that are in process. And that's it. That's all I have for you guys today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. My information is here and I've been in contact in communication with Kimberly, and we do have some paperwork started and all that. So we'll be in contact and hopefully continue the process with them.
Yeah, it was important to me that you guys understood exactly what he was wanting to do, how he was wanting to do it. because your input and your participation is gonna be really important. And
Absolutely.
you
Yes.
guys know this a lot better.
Well, and I don't think we'll have any trouble getting community volunteers to, yeah, especially where we're an alluvial well, we have
Yeah.
serious
Yeah.
risk.
And when you started talking about that, you know, I'm thinking about that bridge and what if we had a gas truck
Well,
over that? know,
you
like
think
a gas
about
truck.
even Mona's, she's had to
Exactly.
do those test holes down there.
Exactly. So, and we have a lot of risk if you sit and really think about it, so.
Yeah.
They will help us, you know, identify all of them and keep it kind of mitigated, and then it'll also help us, you know, when we're talking about the fence or, you know, things like that, it helps us, you know, apply for those grants better.
Yeah.
Yeah, once you have the source water protection plan, in place, you identify some things that you might not be able to accomplish right now. In 10 years from now, you're gonna need, $120,000 for something. You can put that in the grant. That way, when it comes time, it's already in the system. And when you get ready to apply for other grants and money, then it's gonna be easier process.
An identified need.
Yes, identified need, that's exactly what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Gabriel, how old is your, what you do? I mean, how long has this been in place?
This has been in place a long time. Colorado Rural Water Association has been in place since '84, I think, or even longer.
And this is the first time that you've noticed Kiowa?
Nobody's reached out to them.
Yeah, we haven't, nobody had reached out to
So
them.
we have to reach out to you, you don't come to us.
Not necessarily, not necessarily. We do outreach and things like that in communities and but it's also systems that know they need help, people involvement in the community that see the potential, here, for this being a helpful process and helping build the future as.
I was surprised when they got the loan, USDA didn't have you guys come in here so that they could know what kind of.
So in 2004, they did a source water assessment for all water systems.
Okay.
So you should have had a source water assessment done for the town of Iowa. And that was the start, that was the start point for this. So now we're doing the source water protection plans and we take the source water assessment and then start building from there.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, why would you loan over $3 million without knowing exactly what the risks were? And that's what you're trying to identify. Is that
Yes,
correct?
and that's the point of forming the committee. We can get, engineers in here if we need more technical assistance. We can do what we need to do to identify, the potential risks, to your source water.
Okay.
Can you help beyond that?
What's that?
Can you help beyond that?
Yeah,
Asset condition, reserve studies, stuff like that?
yes, absolutely.
That's during the process of doing that.
Yes,
So I reached out to
We
them
can
to do the
get
rate
whatever-
study. I gave Dola back their grant, because that was gonna be a $25,000 match on our part out of our budget. So I contacted Colorado Rural Water Association because I got rumor from another municipality that they'll do that for free.
Awesome.
So I reached out to them and they said, no, we do. We absolutely do that for free. So we set up the first meeting a couple weeks ago. Scott came out, sat down, Scott Thomas came out and sat down with me.
asset management.
In the course of that conversation about a rate study, an asset management study is also part of that.
Which is
Yeah,
what
there's
we
a
had
lot of-
moved our grant money over
So I
to.
gave that one back too.
Yeah,
So that's $50,000 that you guys aren't having to spend to have these done for free.
there's a lot of resources out there that a lot of communities don't know. about.
Town of Bennett has used Colorado Rural Water.
Dola didn't even know that
tons.
they did it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tons of stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing, what they do, and it's,
Yeah.
a lot of communities don't know about it, and
So what is our next step then?
so the next step, I would have to get the grant paperwork written up. Which I have the grant paper written
Yeah,
up,
that was the question we had at the beginning. Yes,
but
because it's on
that's
the
where we
town
kind
website.
of,
Can we do it as doing business as? Or we can reach out to the CDPHE and just have them change that, because that's on something that we haven't paid yet. Unless you paid it and I just didn't see
I haven't
anything.
paid it. I know it's.
And I don't think, Paul paid it either.
No.
So what if you let us reach out to them and find out what the ability is? Because we have our own federal ID and everything.
Because yes, if you have your own federal ID and all of that, and it's in the system, you know, that's
It
great.
just needs to be altered to
Yeah.
read Kiowa Water, because the eligibility survey is all done under them, so we should be fine.
Okay.
We'll just have them change the PWS, whatever,
It is ID.
that's it.
Yeah.
There's all those letters again, I can't keep track of it.
Because you're a water authority, right?
Mhm.
KWWA.
Yeah,
Iowa Water Wastewater.
so we're just like a
Okay.
water district.
And, yeah, right, and you provide the water for the town of Kiowa,
That's correct.
and the town of Kiowa pays for the water.
We pay for our own, we get.
They
billed
pay
by
for their
them like
own,
everybody
but
else does.
we bill the citizens of the town.
We have an
Yes.
operating agreement with them to conduct their operations.
Okay.
And we are the members of Colorado Rural Water, not the town.
Correct.
Right. So to be eligible for the grant, it has to go through the town and with their PSW ID and everything. Even though, you're just the provider for the town of Kiowa, that's okay. You see what I'm saying?
Even though we're actually the one that's the member of the Colorado Rural Water.
Because you're
but the town
you're
is
a
not.
water authority, right?
Mhm.
So you don't, you're not,
It has to be a municipality?
you don't qualify for the grant because you're a water authority for the state, so it has to go through the town of Kiowa.
But
Even though they're buying it from you, it happens a lot with a lot of rural communities, that's the way they do it.
why does DOLA give them money from the state as an authority, but
It's probably a different grant, and different money for them. This is
Okay.
for the source water protection plan.
okay.
Yeah.
We could
It
delve further
can
into it.
Yeah,
still
whatever,
work.
I mean,
We just have to, we use the PSW ID for the town of Kiowa and the name that's on the water system and all of that. Now, your name or whoever's name and signature can be on that grant.
That doesn't make any sense.
Well, it would be like the town and then we have, what, like a subsidiary underneath it or just a subgroup,
DBA.
you know?
You're just, I guess, providing the water for them, but it's Kiowa, town of Kiowa's source water in the system with their PSW ID and their name.
But if we change that PWS ID,
If you,
It would-
if you change it and you're a water authority,
then it would eliminate
I
us
don't know
from
if you'll
this
still
grant,
be eligible for the source water protection grant
Why?
money, but that's a.
which is
question. That's the
interesting.
question we can, I can put together an email and ask Robert Murphy about.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
let's go down that pathway because we're really trying to make it a very clear definition of
Yes,
who is what.
yeah, that's why I wanted to come up and meet everyone, so, you know, I can make sure I know what we're dealing with, so I can ask Robert and what you guys need and what you wanna do.
Okay, no, we would love to participate in the grant if we
Yeah,
can.
absolutely.
I think we'll have no trouble getting committee together, but,
We'll
we
figure it
also-
out.
yeah,
We'll figure it out. We'll be in contact and,
okay,
I'll get
great.
with Robert Murphy and we'll see which way he wants us to proceed, what'll work for you guys.
Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it and,
It's great meeting you.
It's good meeting you. All right.
It's okay. You weren't really late.
Okay,
You were sitting outside of the time, Gabriel.
all right.
Okay,
I'm gonna
any
head on
other
to,
discussion?
Okay.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to adjourn at 6:53.
Will probably be
I will.
Thursday.
Okay.
Thank you.
Motion.
Thank you again.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn. Eric seconded the motion to adjourn. 6:53 PM. All those in favor? Aye.
I
All right, we turn the table over.
You don't want anything
Ah. Okay. Now, giving you time for the changing of the guard.
I know,
Yeah.
they're like
Yeah.
that. So to
Well,
be
you
in
know,
the
this is-
driveway.
That means you gotta hustle home, so